I'm creating a new table with the same field, but as I found some solution for a couple of minutes, I have seen where it is telling that, like, we have nulls is checked for everything. So that is the reason it is showing, but it is not going to be the reason. I'll have to look into it, but I don't have the time to see. And even it is also not required for you. Let me check with the money and the same time department name. I'll be giving varchar. And coming to that employee number, I'll set it as primary key and save the table as going to be. Let's have an employee and refresh it once again. Then we will be having the table. I'll right click and edit top 200 rows. We'll insert the data into the table. So I'll be giving 101 and the name as Shrikant. Job as going to be, let's say China or something. Salary 12345 and the department name is IT. I'll be having right now at this moment only one record from the DB, nothing apart from that one. What I want to do is I'll be creating a new project over here, and let's go to the ASP.NET web application. We'll see like ASP.NET web application using the .NET framework, and the name of that application is going to be web service that what I'll be give, or else let's say web API that what I am creating, and then click on next. I don't need this one. I'll go with an empty and web API that what I'm selecting, and then click on create. Right. So here you can see I have the model. Let me right click on the model. I'm going to add the ADO.NET entity data model, and the name is going to be, let's say, company DB. I'll be using test the connection succeeded. Click on OK. Company DB entities, entity framework 6. I'm selecting the table. Click on finish. Now, Java people, they're supposed to create all the web services. Don't create any SOAP-based service. It should be always a REST service that you have to create it by your own. It is not generating. I'll create it by my own. I'm not sure like why it is behaving like this. I don't have the time to check it out. So I'll be creating by my own here int employee number, and the second one is going to be employee name. That means exactly how the DB is going to be. I'll be creating that. And the third one is going to be, we have the job. Now you can see, I hope you people might already aware of it, like how to create a contract class in TypeScript. We have created an interface and we created it, right? Now the same thing that what I am doing, I'll be creating another one. Let's say public, maybe I can say double salary, and the last one is going to be public string department name, that what I can give. I'll go and build my solution. Now the solution is created properly here. Okay, build one succeeded. Now what I just want to do is, I'll be having my controller, right click, add a controller, and then I'm selecting MVC5 use entity framework controller, and the model class is going to be an employee, and the context class is company DB. And here I don't want to generate. Okay, let me do one thing. Here I'll be selecting web API 2 controller. I'll click on add, and the model class is going to be an employee, and the context class is this one, and the name of the controller is going to be EMP API controller, that what I am giving, and say okay. It might take a minute to create each and everything. So generally, like what we are doing here is, basically with the database we can perform the CRUD operation. CRUD stands for decimal, the type decimal of the salary concept rules type. Type the double salary. Okay. Let me give a simple thing here. Maybe I can take string salary. Okay, generally like what we are doing with the database is going to be, it's a CRUD operation. CRUD operation in the sense like inserting the data, updating the data, deleting the data, and also read the data, that what it is required for us, right? Apart from like, we are not going to do anything. Most of our application development you can take will be associated with that only. That means if you can take, let's say, Facebook as an application, generally like what we are doing in the Facebook, first we'll open the Facebook, then we will be having a login page. And after that, once if you are having the Facebook login, then we will be giving the username and password, right? Once you give the username and password, that username and password are going to be sent to the database and cross validated it over there. And once if the validation is going to be done, suppose if that particular user is available, then automatically it gives you the home page. Now home page giving means it gives the data, and based upon the data, the front end people, they are constructed their home pages. They are constructing their home pages. That is how it is going to be. Understand? That is how it is going to be. Now the same thing we are going to performing it here, but the front end application is not directly connected with the back end application. What I am doing, I am using as a .NET developer. I'm a .NET developer basically, so I am using .NET as my backend. But in your case, you can go with Java as your backend and create an API, something like that. And if you can execute it once, now you can see when I'm executed, if it is properly working fine, now we are able to see the data also. Let me close all these things. These are not required. Let me close all. Okay. So how to execute this API means, you see, get employees is the method. What it is doing, it will be communicating with the database and then get all the employees that are required for us. And at the same time, if it is like, single employee, we will be passing an ID, and based on that, like we'll be getting it. And if it is put employee, this is how it is. And if it is like delete employee, and like that, we have different ways that what we are having. And if you don't want to follow this, Shrikant, can I create by my own means? Yes, you can create it by your own as well. Now I will show you. Let's say API slash EMP API if I am giving. Now it will communicating with the database and get the data here or not. You can see that whatever the database table we are having the data, we are able to see the data. But browser by default, it accepts the data in the form of an XML. That is where it is showing me. But don't think that it is giving that XML data. Always the web API and in similar way in Java RESTful web services are there, right? These two are giving the data in the form of JSON only, not in the form of an XML. But general web services, soap based web services you can take. And same thing if it is in a .NET, we have WCF services are available, Windows Communication Foundation. These two will give the data in the form of XML because these two are the soap based services. Now what I am doing, I'm able to get the data. Suppose let's say if I'll be giving 101, then click on OK, I'm able to get 101 record detail. Now I just wanted to check whether I'm able to insert the data or not, or update the data or not, how I'm able to do that one. So to do that one, generally any idea on how to check that API? Anyone? Web services, it's not yet done? Okay. So generally, suppose let's say you're a front-end guy, I'm a back-end guy, and you ask me to implement all the CRUD operations for a table. Then yeah, I'm not generating like this. Generally, this is for the time being. Okay, for the time constraint, I'm generating something like that. Suppose let's say if generally what we are doing, we created an EMP controller, right? Generally, what we are doing, we'll be removing it, and we created by our own. Let me create everything by my own. I'm going to close all the tab. I'll right click and then click on add. I'm going to add a controller, and let me go with the controller web API to controller empty and say add. Then automatically it will be created, and it won't take much time. So that is where I'll create everything from the sorry. I'll create everything from the scratch level. So I'll be selecting this one. Now you can see the name of the controller is going to be EMP API controller, that what I am creating. EMP API controller is the name that what I have created. Now here you can see we will be creating the method. That means you approached me and asked me, Shrikant, I'm a backend developer. Shrikant, just please create some method which are going to perform the CRUD operation. That is our intention. Then what I can do immediately, anyhow, I have created my company DB context class. Okay, company DB entities that we are having, DB is equal to, or else DB entities is equal to new company DB entity. Now, whatever the backend methods are required, you will be creating. Now, what I can do, public list of employees that what we are having. Okay, and here I am going to write a method which is get employees, and I'm going to return all those employees. So how I can do that? DB entities dot employees dot. We have a method that is to list is available. That means when user execute this particular method by calling this API, then automatically what I'm going to give it to them? I'm giving the list of employees here or not. That is what I'm trying to do. And at the same time, you can see I'll be writing public, let's say employee. I'm going to have get employee here based on that employee ID. Now what I can do, return DB entities dot employees dot. We have a method that is the find method based on that ID that what we are getting. That means whatever that ID user has supplied, okay, it's an employee ID. Maybe I can go with an employee ID. Otherwise, you can give an ID also. That's up to you. I'm just giving an ID. Based on that, I'm able to get an employee object and then returning it to the user. And at the same time, when user, let's say, insert the data, then I'm going to send a response to the user. The user is added successfully. That is what my response. Then what I can do, I mean, why I'm creating this one means earlier, like, whatever it is generated, it is having like lot of inbuilt methods which are related to that web API. So that is where like you might get confused because it is returning some HTTP response messages, not found means 400, something like that. But I don't want to make it like more complex. I'll just show you in a simple way the backend application. That is where I'm creating. Now here you can see, let's say insert employee means we are going to insert like whole employee details only, right? Yes or no? Because like whole employee details we are sending. Now how I can do that? DB entities dot employees dot. We have a method that is add method, and after that DB entities dot we have save changes is available. Now I am going to call that one, and finally what I can do, if it is successful, then I can write employee inserted successfully. Okay, I'm just writing something like this. This is for insertion operation. Like the way how we are having an insert, I'm going to write like, delete operation. Okay, and after that, you can see employee dot. Okay, I'm just going with the remove. And here, let's say delete operation is required only based on that ID. So that what I can do is, I'm going to find the record first, and then once if it is found, then I'm going to delete it. That is what I am trying. Sorry. Once if it is found, then I'm going to delete that particular record. Okay, first I'm finding the record, then I'm removing the record, and then I'm going to save the changes, and finally employee deleted successfully. And the same way I'll be doing an update operation. So to do that update operation again, public string update employee, where I can say db entities dot, we have an entry method. In that I'm giving that employee dot state equal to entity state dot modified, and db entities dot save changes. I am going to return employee updated successfully. So this is how it is going to be. That means I have written something like this. All these are the methods that what I am having. Now the time when I'm executing it, you see by default like it is executing the URL in localhost 60,443 is the URL that we are having, right? This is the URL right now we are having. Right now it is not showing anything because you see the URL structure for an API applications are going to be something like this. What I have to give, API slash the name of the controller, and then the ID has to be given. Now ID is going to be a route parameter which is optional in all the cases. Optional means if you wanted to give, you can. Otherwise, you can make it as an empty as well. That means we should give what? API slash controller has to be given. Now, what is our controller name? EMP API is the controller, right? So now you can see the time when I'm executing it, I'll just come back here. Let me give API slash EMP API. If I'm giving, now you see the request will reach to here or not, and then click on continue, and automatically it will connect with the server and get the data. And at the same time, suppose let's say I'm giving, let's say 101 as the value. Now you can see I'm giving 101 here, and I click on OK. Now you can see that ID in this place we are having 101, and then click on continue. It is able to find that particular record if it is available. But in the previous case, what happened if the record is not available? It is giving some HTTP status codes. I don't want to make more complex. That is where I created everything by my own. Then how to test this particular, the remaining one, let's say insert operation, update operation. Blindly, I can't give you. See, I don't have like any trust, like, on the code that what I have developed. If I'm giving it to you, you people can consume, and if it is not working, then again I need to do the modifications, right? So that from my end also, it should thoroughly test it. For that reason, what real-time people will do is we use a Postman client. Postman client is available, not even for the .NET people, even if you are a Java people also, we have the Postman is available, which will make like, the request and response. I can show you, maybe I can go with the Windows 64-bit version. I type it and it might take a minute. Okay, it's around like that. Okay, now what I want to do, I already created an application, the front end application, and I can show you that. Let me go to the D drive. There we have that Angular session. I have 9 a.m. Yeah, no. I have already created an application. I will show you because it's very easy for you to understand. Nothing major that we are having. Angular Web API. Okay, it is 7:30, 9 a.m. Here we have Angular examples, right? Where are they? Okay, let me show you that application here. I'll go with the code space dot. I will share you the source code, don't worry. Right. Now you see here like what I am doing. I'll go to my app folder and there you can observe that I created like, anyhow, the very first thing is going to be the contract. Now you can see the contract, how it would be. We have an employee number, employee name is available, job is available, salary, and the department name that what I am having. The data types, that's up to you. If you wanted to take anything, you can. Otherwise, you can simply ignore it as well because we have a type inference where you can assign automatically. Okay, don't need to worry. I hope this part everybody knows, right? How to create the contract class. Now the contract class, how I am creating here is, okay, I will show you that insert operation once because this anyhow you will be learning in your server side program. It is not required. Just a minute. But make sure guys, the .NET application or Java application or service that what you people have created, it must be up and run always. If it is not running, then you cannot get that output. It always should be up and run. That is very important. That is where like, all these APIs are going to be hosted in some server and they are giving that URL to connect with that server. Same thing what we are doing in the fake store API these many days, right? We are taking that API URL and then giving, then automatically it execute. That is how it is going to be. Now I'll just show you here. Now you see the first one is going to be the get request. Let me copy this and here you can see this is the Postman and I'm giving this one API slash EMP API and I'm giving only one header that is going to be content type as application or JSON. You can see application or JSON. When I'm sending my request, now you could see here, I'm able to get the response as well. Now you see the same data that what we are having in the DB, am I able to see the same data even here also or not? Yes or no? 101 Srikanth trainer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and IT that what we are having. Now suppose let's say if I'll be giving 101 and then click on send, then I'm able to get that particular record detail. Suppose I wanted to insert. Now when I say about an insert, generally insert operation is going to be what we call it as post operations. Okay, insert is going to be the post operation so that it should be decorated with HTTP post. If it is a delete operation, it should be HTTP delete has to be given. And if it is an update operation, we will be giving HTTP put operation has to be provided. Otherwise, like you cannot execute it. Now what I can do, I'm just executing my application for one more time. And now you can see here what I want to do. Suppose I wanted to insert, then what type of action it is going to be? Post action. Now here in the post action, we need to send like, the whole body, right? That means we need to send all that employee details or not. You can see we need to send all that employee detail. So that what I am trying to do, I'll go to my body. There I am giving some raw data in the form of JSON. And then whatever the data you people wants to give, you can give it over there. I'll be giving 102 and the name is going to be, you can give any name, and then the job is going to be something, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the department is going to be, let me give an IT, and then click on send. Now you see what happened. It is definitely making, yeah, you can see that it is making a request, and whatever the data I'm giving, I'm able to get it here or not, and then click on continue. Now it is giving me 200 as the response, okay, and then it is giving me employee inserted successfully. So this is how the backend people will test, because backend people, they don't have any UI at the time of development, and you are a front end guy, you supposed to take care of each and everything. For that reason, you can say whatever the backend contract we are getting, generally like whatever the contract we are getting. Now, if you can go to the definition, based on this particular contract, what I am doing, I'm going to prepare my contract class. Now, what is the contract? Export interface, employees that interface, and I'm giving employee number, name, job, salary, department name. And the data types can be anything you can give. It doesn't matter at all. No need to worry about it. That you may get a small conversion issues that we can handle it, not a big deal, as because this is a simple application. Now the second step is going to be, this is my server application and which is running always. Okay, now I wanted to connect with this service application from that Angular. Then which class we used? Same, correct only. Tell me, correct only. Like whatever we have done, same code, man. We don't have any changes at all. The only difference what I am showing it to here is how to call the post method, delete method, and put method. Everything is same. That is the reason. Here you can see I have created my service class. Now I hope everybody knows this, right? What is injectable HTTP? Now additionally, what I am doing, I'm going to give the headers here. Now what header I am giving? Header means what? Whenever user send a request, suppose let's say I'm going to send a request, and that request should process and give the response from the server, right? The server has to be given the response in the form of what? JSON only. Otherwise, I don't accept it. If you wanted to say explicitly, then we have to configure it some place or not. Each and every request and response, we have to configure that. If the request is going to be, the type of data is going to be application or JSON, then only I'll process. For that reason, what I'm doing, I'm going to configure this header. Okay, second header is going to be, you can see I'm getting something like this, access control. Okay, right now I'll be commenting it. I'm sorry. I'll be commenting this code, this line of code, and save this application. Now you can see the only change is going to be the base URL. Now, right now, what would be the URL for us? This is the URL. This is the base URL for us. So that earlier it was something different. So that I'm just changing the base URL, nothing apart from that one. Now you can see I'm having EMP API, give it a proper naming convention. Now I can just write something like this, base URL. Now what we are doing, you see, get all the records. Now how to get all the record? Public get employees, observable of what type of data? Employee data, return this dot get employee. Now whatever the base URL we are having, I'm giving that, and also I'm providing a header that is application or JSON. That's it. Okay. Now let me execute this one. and see like how it would be. I'm just executing it. Before that, what I can do is I don't want to open it from here. Let me open one step back. I'll open one step back so that it would be good, I guess, because uh, it is throwing me an error. Right, perfect, I guess. Right. Now I just wanted to execute this particular project. How I can execute, right? Okay, still we have an issue. No? One more step back. Node modules లేదా ఇక్కడ. Oh. If you could observe that node modules is not available, then how to get it? Any guess? We use what? We use what? npm install. That means if you don't have the, now you can say, are we getting the node modules or not? But Srikanth, how it is going to download all the packages? That is the reason this package.json. If you can see, at the time of developing all these projects, we have downloaded like different packages, right? All these packages are going to be downloaded once if you can give an npm install. npm install, if you can give, first it will go to the package.json, and then whatever the packages we are having, it will get download each and every package. Leave it. It might take a minute. Right. Now you can see, I don't think so we have an error. Let me go to the CRUD and then SRC, and there we have an app, and then you can see employee service.ts. Now it is still loading, just a minute. Right. Now you can see this is how it is going to be. I'm changing the URL where my application is running right now at this moment. Okay, I'm changing my URL. Now I just wanted to run that application. I'll be giving clear screen where it is going to be ng yes -o -project is equal to where it is going to be. What is the project name? CRUD is the project name where I can give the CRUD and see. Okay, why it is showing like this? Okay, cd space I'm executing from that location. Now you see, are we able to get the data here right now? See there, we don't have the data. If you right click and go to that inspect, and there we have a console issue. Now you see access to the XML HTTP request. I guess like it is not visible. That is where I asked you to come forward. Okay, now you can see access to the XML HTTP request at this particular location from that origin 4200 has been blocked by what policy? CARS policy response to the pre-flight request does not pass access control check. No access control allow origin header is presented on the requested resource. Now, what does it mean? Any guess? What does it mean exactly? So now here, the backend application and the front end application, both are running in my machine only, but both are executing with the two different servers, right? Now, if you can take like, this is a .NET application. Internally, the .NET application is executed with the help of IIS is available. That is the web server. If you can right click and there you can see 60443 is the port and IIS. And you know that Angular application right now it is executed with the help of what? Node.js. Both are different server, both are executing in different port number. So both are different applications, right? If that is a case, by default, the web HTTP, what it will follow, both are unknown resources, so that I don't want to share any content from one website to another website, or else from one web device to another web device. I don't want to allow to share any data. Because if it is allowed for everyone, anybody can inject anything. Then where is the security for us? Right? So that we should provide a mechanism that we have to trust. Okay, this is a good request. Like that, we need to tell the front end application, and this request is good request. We supposed to tell the back end application. So how we can do that one? For that reason, you can observe that I am using this particular one. Now what I am doing, you can see I am just using set, and another one access control allow origin is available. That is one header that what I am giving. Now here what I am giving star. Star stands for any request it might be, I'm able to allow. That is what it is telling, because client side we don't have much security. Client is not required to have like more about the security, but server is required to have like more security, right? Definitely, because if anybody can access the server, we don't have any data. I mean, we don't have any guarantee for the data. That is the reason even this CARS also should be implemented at server side. Now, how I can do that one? To do that one, what I can do is Microsoft is offering like different ways. Web API CARS, Web API CARS, C#. If I'll be going, even in okay, this is the one of the right. Web API CARS C#. If you can go, enable the CARS request in Web API 2. For that, you can see we have something like this. I'll just show you. And we see replace the URL. Okay, come down a bit. Now you can see this is how it is going to be. The very first thing is what? We need to install this particular package. That is the first one from the Nugget, so that I can go to my application. Even in Java also this step is common. Okay, enabling is common, but you might feel like a different way rather than what I am following it over there. I'll go to my tools, and there I am having Nugget Package Manager console, and here what I can do is I'll be giving enabling CARS. I'm just giving a command. The first command is going to be this one, where I am enabling the CARS. Now you can see successfully installed. Okay. So Web API failed to update the redirects and CS project. Stuff. Okay, leave about it. Let me go to here and check whether it is installed or not. CARS. Okay, the CARS was installed here. Okay, fine, that is good. And the next thing what I can do is I'll go to my application. And here we have what global.asax is available. Now there what we are having, we need to call this particular one. Enable the CARS is required, so that what I can do, Web API config, Now here I'm going to configure that particular one. Okay, I'm going to enable the cars. That is the second step. And what is the third step? Now in enable cars, whatever like we wanted to have, you can have it. I'll copy that. I'll go to my controller, and inside the controller, I'm going to give this particular one. Now here, what request we are going to accept, that request has to be given. Generally, like where our applications are executed, in which port number it is executing? Tell me. 4200 is the port number, right? So that I can give that particular one, http://localhost colon 4200 has to be given. That's it. Now you can save it and then come back here. One more time you can execute. Now you can see I'm just okay. My application is still under that execution. Now I'm going to execute my service. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll copy the path from here, localhost 4200 exactly, so that I'll be coming here and give that origin. That means the request what I'm getting from this particular place, I'm giving it as a trusted request. That is what I'm enabling. Now I'm executing this one more time. Just you can just run it. That's it. No need to do anything. Just keep on up and run. You need not to do anything. Now you can just come back here and refresh it once again. Just right click and go to that inspect, and there we have the console window. Now you can see, are we getting the data or not? Now the same data that you can find it even in the DB, right click and execute the SQL. It doesn't matter that like we should open the DB. DB is not required. DB is running in a separate server again. So it should not like, up and run. That is different scenario. Now you can see, I'll connect with my database and then go with the new query window. Let me use company DB. Company DB is the one that what I have created, and I am writing a simple select command, select the star from employee that what I am giving, and I click on execute. Now we have two records are available here. You can observe that the same record that you can find it even here. Now I'll be clicking on, let's say, an insert, and I'm giving 103 that what I can give, and the name is going to be, I'll be giving, let's say, a name that is Abhi, and the job is going to be manager, and the salary 34567, and the department name is IT, and the time when user click on insert. Now you can see, am I able to get the data to here or not? See there? Yes or no? This is a backend application. If you can observe that this is C#, and then click on continue. Now it is inserted, and I am able to see that employee inserted successfully. Now if you can just go to the routing mechanism, now you can see Abhi is inserted on the DB. And if you can go to the database, right now we have two, and then execute. Now you see, am I able to get 103 or not? But how I am able to execute this particular one? For that reason, what I am doing in database, I mean in backend, I am writing like this. Now what I am doing, I am calling this particular method. How I am calling? Now go to the application. Now here you can see insert record is available. A method that I have written inside where employee service.ts. Now how to write? Public insert employee is the method. Now it is accepting an employee total object to the server. So that is where I'm giving an employee, and this one is observable of string type that what I am having. Because you see, once if the record is inserted, I'm getting a string related information only. The response as string only, right? But that is where I told you, Shrikant, how we come to know that what response it is giving. Documentations. You will be getting the documentation. What is the method name? What type of method it is? Get to, post to, put or delete. That type of method. And at the same time, what are the request parameter and what is the response you are getting? Each and everything is documented properly and giving it to you. Based on that only, we will preparing this particular one. Now, what type of data I'm getting? It's a string data. And then I'm calling my base URL. And then with what request here it is, you see what request here it is. You can see there, it's a post request. If it is an update, put request. If it is a delete, delete request. The only change is that one. Apart from nothing. Understand? Apart from nothing. Then Shrikant, how you are consuming this one in the front end application? Now in the front end, the service, everyone is clear, right? Everyone is clear with this service. Tell me. Clear, right? No doubts at all. Any doubts, please let me know. Don't worry. Clear, right? Online team. Any doubts? Online guys, Saroj. Anyone? Okay, good. I'll take it as no doubts. Very good. Thank you. I'll take it as no doubt. Now, what I am doing, whenever user has executed for the first time, I'm going to get like, the data, and that data with the help of app component. Generally, like how to get that particular data by connecting with the service only, right? I've created an employee service and I'm getting employee data. Now what I'm doing, this dot service dot, I'm calling a method that is a get employees method. This get employees will connect with the backend application and get all the data to me. Now that data I'm storing into this employees variable, and that employees data I'm going to maintain it over here. Now you can see I created couple of router links here. One is inside, and after that you see I have a table, and by using the table I am displaying the data, and in that table I'll create two more router link. One is for edit, another one is for delete. That is the reason you can observe that output. This is how it is going to be: insert, edit and delete that are available. Now where I have configured that routing, you can see that routing I configured here. Insert, then insert component has to be loaded, edit, and then we need to pass an ID or not. And delete, we need to pass an ID, so that delete component has to be loaded over there. Clear? Na? Same code, there is no change. That is where almost all we discussed. The only thing you people are asking me is how to connect with real world database. We cannot connect it directly. We should have a backend application. What we are doing in just in a previous example and this example, tell me what is the difference? Any guess, like what is the difference here? Only URL. Apart from anything is changed, tell me. If it is fake store API, in place of that URL, I can give the fake store API URL and change the contract class and then perform the CRUD operation. Understand? If it is going to be NASA services also we have seen earlier, then I change the URL. Apart from, is there any difference? That is where I told you from very beginning, it doesn't matter that like what backend you are using. And it is not required even for an Angular developer, what backend, from what backend we are getting the data also. Understand? Because backend development is different, front end is different entirely. Still, even in my team, I told you I have 40 members of the team, 43 members. Yesterday, one girl joined. 43 members of the team, around like 15 people who are 2 to 3 years of experience. They don't know that like what platform we are using. We are not giving any access to the freshers because platform is very good platform that what we are maintaining, and they don't know that from where the data is coming. Is it coming from the database or coming from an API or coming from XYZ location? They don't know anything. They know only this URL. Okay, use that URL. This is that endpoint. Generally, that URL we call it as an endpoint. Use this endpoint and make a GET request. This is the request body. That means this is the request that you need to maintain, and this is the response you are getting. Once if you are getting, then you can bind it. That's it. They don't know that like what backend it is. Either it is Java or .NET. But you know the strange thing is the platform is completely Java. Platform is completely Java. And right now, the front-end application, the development, who are working on that Angular, they all are .NET developers. If I can say that we are getting Java data, they are thinking in a different way. How to integrate Java application in Angular? They are thinking in a different way because we are not exposing to them. And one guy, like I guess around 3 to 4 days back, one guy asked me, Srikanth, like what is the .NET is only the backend application that what we are using? No man, it's Java application. That means I am integrating Java application to .NET and then to Angular. Means yes, you are doing that. Oh, that's good, really. What you are doing for that? I don't know. I'm just getting a URL. That's it. That is what we call it as an endpoint. It doesn't mean that like what backend it is going to be. It's all about in your front end only. Understand? Now you can see I'm maintaining the routing until here everyone is clear. Everybody is know about this. And after that, you see what I am doing. Let's go for an insert. In insert, what we are having? A simple form where I'm using what? ng model, and I created, like you see, an employee object, and I'm going to bind all the data to that employee object. Earlier we have given like only employee number, name, something like that. But what I'm doing in inside component, you can see I created an employee contract class. Now to that, I'm getting the data by using two-way data model, so that employee dot employee number. When user click on like an insert button, I'm calling which method? Insert employee method. Now you can see insert employee method is available. Now from here, what I'm doing? This dot, I created a service with the help of dependency injection. I'm calling a method, what method? Insert employee method, and then following with whatever that employee data we are getting in the two-way data binding, I am giving it over there. And finally, whatever the response getting, I am delivering it to the user. That's it. That is what I am doing. Even for update also the same, and delete also the same. This is how we will be performing the CRUD operations. The only thing is, if you are a Java developer, create an Oracle database and create what? Simple table. Don't follow exactly same this one. If you can follow this, then you are adopting to an example. Understand the concept, that is very important for us. Understand? So the concept is very important. Please follow like in that way, so that it would be very easy even for you. And even you can try with the remaining things also. I will share you both .NET application also. Just for your reference purpose, I am sharing with you. Just you can keep that. If you're a .NET developer, then well and good. But if you're a Java developer, create a simple web service, and by using that service, you can create exactly whatever the way I have created, because you know what is public, what is string, what is method, how to pass the data. The only change is going to be this logic is different, and finally returning is same, right? Anywhere, yes or no? So this logic you have to implement. Okay, structure is same, but logic is different, and try to implement it in that way. And then with what port it is running, just to change the port in the base URL, so that it will work even for your applications also. So this is all about the Angular. And as I told you, I'll be giving you a project over here, but the database is not ready from my end. That is the one issue, but I'll just upload that. You don't need to worry. I'll show you like, you know, how it is going to be. Uh, No, I no backend application. See, Prasad, like you don't need to worry about like the backend. That is what I'm telling. If you really wants to practice, just install the Visual Studio and SQL Server and create a basic application and then run. Otherwise, like you can search in the Google, there you can find like couple of API. Other, I'll just check. I'm not sure that like right now all the sample REST API, they are stopping giving like post and put operation. Earlier we have an API, W3 schools only they provided an API that we can perform insert update operations, but delete operation we cannot. But even they are also removed that API. I don't know the reason. Maybe everybody, if they are using for the practice purpose, if they added like more data, then why they maintain the data, right? That is the reason, I guess. I'm not sure, but I'll check and update you on this. Sir, please take the Node.js separate. No, Saros, right now I'm able to take only two sessions. One is Angular and another one is again, they're assigning me back .NET. It's a .NET job guarantee batch they have assigned to me. I'll let you know, like if I'm having some time. Node.js will take hardly 15 days to 20 days if you seriously spend on that. That is also good only to learn about, because if you are a UI developer, learn the Node.js, but if you are a .NET or Java developer, then you can ignore it. If you are a UI developer, better to start with Node.js also. That is also good because the same Node.js is compatible for any type of application. That is my, that is the reason. Somewhere, yeah, Saroj, I understood. I'll definitely let you know. Don't worry. When the time permits, I'll definitely take care of it. So the problem here is for this application. One second. I do have an application, very good application. This is what the problem is. I formatted the system so that way I lost like all the database code because like I'm not maintaining any kind of backup format AP. That is the problem that what I'm having right now. But yeah, definitely I will share this code to you. Don't worry. Front end also you're able to understand. Uh, and few people like they ask me about the JWT, right? Everything is going to be configured from here only. You can see that. Suppose let's say when user has given like login detail, then first I'm going to authenticate the login is available or not. Now you can see in user service in backend only. You're not going to do anything in the front end. We have an authenticate method is there. Okay, still it is not loading. Uh, I'll right click, go to the implementation. String. మంచిగా రాసినట్టున్నాయి. Next.js, I never worked on it. I never worked on it so far. I'll just check and give an update on that. If anything, I found like which is really helpful. Yeah, maybe, but I didn't get a chance. Right now, I'm working on mostly AI, artificial intelligence, not even for Angular also. Angular and all. I'll just stop. Now you can see when user is authenticated, what I am doing, I'm just finding that user, whether the role is going to be there or not. And after that, you see, this is the logic to create the token. JWT token, you ask me, right? This is the logic in .NET. And Java people, they're supposed to write like, the same thing in that also. Okay, Java people, they have to write like, the same thing in their application. Now, once if it is ready, okay, this is ready, we supposed to call like you see this method, authenticate method is available. You can see authenticate method, and if you can observe that access RF request token is there, right? And this is what it is. It is a header, and I'm sending as a response. That means if user has successfully logged in, then what I'm trying to do, I'm going to send a request token, that is the JWT token. Now that token, you can observe that only for that reason I created this application. That token, I use it in my application. I can give you that. Let me go to the code. Now you can see the SRC, and in SRC, if you can see, we have an app is available, and in that you can go with services, and in that service, maybe you can take login service.cs. Now the same thing is there or not, injectable, root is available. Everything is done, almost everything is done. Now here what we are doing, you see, I'm going to send the HTTP client request to my backend application. Okay. And then I'm going to call a method, that is a authenticate method I'm calling. Now you can observe that we have that method. You can see the route is nothing but authenticate is the one that what I'm calling. And at the same time, I'm sending the username and password. And what is the response type? JSON, and I'm going to get that particular response. At the time of taking the response, now whatever the current user we are having, what is the current role, what is the body, and this is the token. And those tokens I'm storing it in where? Session storage. Okay, session storage is nothing but a storage which is available on the browser itself. If we can open any browser, I will show you. If you can open like any browser, I'll right click and go to that inspect, and there you can see. Right click and go to that inspect. There you can see we have an application, and inside that application you can see session storage and local storage. That means when I'm running that application and user has given username and password, and I click on enter, then the request will reaches to where? The backend application, and a token is created, and they are sending as the response, right? That is what we have seen. You can see that they are sending it as a response. If you can observe that response header, they are sending that particular token. Now that token in my front end application, I am getting in the response and then assigning it to the session storage, so that the token will be stored here. Here we are able to see the token automatically. Now, if this token is presented, then only the requests are going to be executed. Otherwise, it won't execute. Again, it is asking for the login. That is what I am trying to show you in this project. But as my system was formatted, the problem is I need to create like all the database structure, and it is not a simple task, because I will show you that like how the DB is going to be, how much DB I have created, I can show you, because I wanted to make this as a whole application end to end. I created like, very big application, this one. I will share you the source code, And along with that database, just give me at least 3-4 days time. Until Saturday and Sunday, I'm not available. I mean, not available in the sense I don't have a time to do this one. That is where give me till Sunday. Sunday, I'll update that in the classroom. You just download that and create the same. I will show you like how it is. See, this is all the database related logic. See this country information. I need to generate like all these things in my database. This much. We have around like I created 6 to 7 tables. Project is too good only, real time only. But only one thing that I can't do right now is I don't have the database set up right now, because yesterday only we installed the DB, right? You only seen. I don't have that backup. If I have the backup, I can do right away, but I don't have it. Maybe I can just create that backup and I can share you like, the end-to-end application with the step of execution. I'll prepare a documentation and upload on Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, don't fix for Saturday, Sunday. Okay, these 2 days I'll definitely share you this example to you. But right now, today, I'll upload like, all the things that we have discussed so far from the beginning to till now, along with the notes and all. Now, all the best for your future. And if you have any doubts, you just ping me in WhatsApp. Okay. If you really have like, if your doubt is not get clear, you just come on Saturdays. Saturday I'll be available here for more time generally. If any Saturday you can come, maybe around like 10:30 at that time. If you can come, I'll be available on Saturday and we can spend somewhat good time on that day and get clear your doubts. Okay, that's it, guys. Cello and goodbye. All the best. Thank you. Yep. And if you really like, just give a, I mean, I hope you guys are having my email ID. Just give a feedback so that it give good boost to me, even to add somewhat more concepts to the people. Okay. You don't have an email. I'll just share my email address. You just be in touch with me in that email also, because I'll regularly go through this one. codewithsrikanth@gmail.com is my website. Thank you. Thanks to all. Okay, that's my email address. Just give any feedback is accepted. Drop an email so that I can, maybe if it is required to add anything, then I can add. Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys, and have a good day. Bye bye. We'll keep in touch. Thank you.